Too clever, but
too lazy. Hey guys, welcome to episode 8.
Episode 8.
Nice to have you back.
Yeah, nice to have you guys back. Thanks for listening.
Hope you enjoy this episode. This week we're going to be talking about... I can't remember.
I think that's it. Yeah,
about.
Just leave it there, and you can edit that into the because I don't remember either. I told this space. I was like, I was crossing my fingers, like I hope she got.
I hope she remembers.
I don't remember anything.
Well, you could be surprised, just like we are. So I hope you enjoyed the episode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we tell some crazy stories. We got a hiker story that's pretty wild. We've got some great "Am I the Asshole" stories again for you this week, and yeah. We talk about some pretty interesting things because we are pretty interesting.
Real quick, I just want to revisit a story I told last week.
And what story is it?
What story is it? It was about an Asian man. It's a very, calm, beautiful story. It was about an Asian man who traveled to France in the pursuit of art, pursuit of happiness.
Booty.
And then he ate a woman, had sex with her, and then put her body into bags. Now, I just wanted to go ahead. Real quick, both side note, I heard this case where this guy was up for rape and murder. And his defense attorney was like, I'm not sure if he should be charged with rape. And they're like, why? He's like, well, because when he had sex with her, she was already dead. So is it still technically...
What the...
Yeah, that's terrible.
That is some crazy logic. I'm pretty sure she didn't consent to being murdered.
Well, I think they ended up finding out that that legally he didn't. But then I think they changed laws because of it. They're like, okay, I guess we never thought about that. So I guess technically it's not. But now we should make it rape to necrophilize. But anyway, back to what I was saying. So the guy's name is that's how you say it's Issei Sagawa. Yeah, Issei Sagawa. Issei Sagawa. It's spelled Issei and then Sagawa. If you want to look it up, you can find some crazy images online. They have like the whole crime scene. The briefcase is opened up.
No way, they have the fucking crime scene.
They have the crime scene where he's got it's like photos from the 80s, but yeah, it's you can see where he's got the body parts chopped up and like put it into like napkins and stuff like that. He's got it set up on plates. He's got it wrapped up in like little pieces and put into the briefcases. Like it's wild. You can see the shit. But yeah, I just wanted to clear up his name. And also, real quick, I want to revisit is this part that we kind of just glossed over is that the fact that the cab driver made a joke. Like, what is this, dead bodies? Like, how banana? Because here's the thing. I've experienced that joke hundreds of times. I've said it myself. I've heard other people say it. I've been around when someone else was saying it, and I was carrying the thing. And I was like, that's a good joke, dude. Dead bodies, perfect. Exactly. But the reason that joke is so easy and universal to be used is because it's never dead bodies. It's never dead bodies. But this time it actually was dead bodies, dude. Yeah. It was the dead body. He's like, what the fuck? I made a joke. It's never dead bodies. So anyway, I just wanted to recap. And again, if you want to look him up, see more details, see the photos. It's pretty wild. And also I wanted to say that I did say that he was still alive and kicking. When I first heard this story, it was like 2021. I looked up all the information and he was at that point, but turns out he died in 2022. So he's actually not alive anymore.
Good.
Good. Yeah. I'm not like sad times, sad news, guys.
Let's have a moment of silence.
Yeah. Moment of silence. But it's crazy. I sent you that photo where someone, I think he drew that picture, and it's like him eating a woman who's been chopped up, and he's like eating her body parts with chopsticks.
I know, but you know what's weird is he's eating her private parts, like her coochie and her boobs.
Oh, that's the weird part?
Well, it's just like there's obvious sexual arousal he gets from it, but from like literal eating, like when people say like eat her out, like they don't mean it. Like
no, and the fact that he has the chopsticks too, like I don't know why that makes.
Well, I mean,
like,
he's Asian.
I know, but he's in France, man. Get with the times. Get with the culture.
There's like no chopsticks in France.
They don't use chopsticks in France. He should have been more cultural acceptable and use fork to eat a woman.
Yeah, that's what we should debate is his culture and what you are not allowed to bring your culture with you. Fuck you.
Nope. Well, if it includes eating women, but I don't think that's Japanese culture though. Now it's just his shit. But yeah, wild story again. If you want to hear more, or if you want to just do some independent research, ISSEISAGAWA. I'm not doing the pronunciation again. I already forgot it. Have you seen or even heard of the show Naked Attraction?
No. It sounds just like, is it a dating show?
Kind of. Okay, so my wife is super into like all those. There's a lot of Netflix dating shows right now, like Love Is Blind. Have you seen that one?
No.
Yeah, right. It's like basically,
I don't
yeah.
really...
So I don't know. My wife is one of those. That's like her guilty pleasure. You know what I mean? Like we all have one.
Oh, Bravo TV is my guilty pleasure.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't even really watch that much anymore.
Right. Well, yeah. See, it's not something that she watches all the time, but when she does find herself, I'll walk into the living room where I'll on my way to work, and I'll just see some wild, you know what I mean? Some wild, like Temptation Island or something like that. And you're like, oh, this is a show from like the 90s, but I think it's the same host even, but it's on Netflix now. Now, Naked Attraction, it's the version I've seen is a British version, but it's like The Voice. They have, an Italian version, a Russian version, Ukrainian version, Chinese version. You get it. The show basically is...
Wait, can I just get a couple more examples, please? So I can really paint the picture.
Japanese version, Czechoslovakian version, Romanian version. Is that even
still a country?
I don't know.
Czechoslovakia doesn't even exist. But that's crazy. They have a version.
Yeah, no, but they have a version too. They came back together as a country.
Yeah, like, you know what? We need to unite once again so we can do this fucking show, okay?
Poland, Sweden, Denmark. Okay, is that enough?
One more.
All right. Oh fuck, man. The Netherlands. That's the same thing though, isn't it? German. That's just German version. I don't know why they say them. It's fine.
It's fine.
There we go. That was solid. All right. Okay. So the show is basically, here's the premise: is it starts with a contestant and the host, and the contestant can be either male or female, and they can be either gay, straight, or bisexual. There's gender and sexual orientation fluid for the show, right? Mm. And then they're both fully clothed. They go onto a stage, and in front of them on the stage are 6 naked strangers, but they're behind colored glass, so you can't see them at all, but you just know they're
the
there.
Proper term is African American glass.
Well, it's orange and purple, and Africa's got some crazy colors. But anyway, so behind I can't. I'm trying to be PC about it now for you, asshole. Like, you fucked me up.
Yes.
I'm like, how do I say this correctly? Wait, it's just colored glass. Anyway, they're behind the colored glass, and then the contestant, the host and the contestant kind of go back and forth for a brief moment, and they go, and the host is like, all right, let's go through stage 1, and then they lift up, the colored glass lifts up to above the waist, and then you just see 6 sets of genitals, right? 6 pairs of genitals, whatever you want to call it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and it's like, so you're either 6 penises, 6 vaginas, or if it's a bisexual contestant, half and half, right? And then the contestant gets like a brief moment of like, all right, I can check some out. You can walk up to him, get closer.
Wait, are the dicks like, are they hard or are they soft?
No, that would be aggressive, dude. If they were just erect penises, just ready.
Yeah, but wouldn't you want to see? Because some people are growers,
Well, no, but there's a fluffing technique, you get it where it's like, this is what I actually look like when I'm soft, haha. But it's not true. There's like you've had a little blood flow, but not enough to make it look like, you have an erection. So it's like there's an in-between point, you know what I mean?
Okay, so it's kind of like the balloon's a little bit blown up, you got a little air in the balloon, but it's
but not enough to make it like, fly away with a big happy face on it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then here's the fucked up part though. So then after the contestant has like a brief moment to like inspect all the genitals, then the host goes like, all right, eliminate one of them. And then she has to go like, yeah, those genitals are the worst ones of the bunch. And then they have to...
Oh my God.
How fucked up is that for like...
I know. You got eliminated first. Can you imagine telling your friends that?
Yeah.
I got
Dude, check me out. I'm going to be on this show, mate. And then they fucking... Yeah, your dick
take one look at this guy, this monster.
Yeah. And then, oh, mate, you eliminated first. But here's the thing, though. There was one... I saw one where it was the first one, it was a bisexual chick, so it was half guys, half girls, and she eliminated the black guy first, and she did say it's because his dick was too big. So I mean, that is kind of a flex. You're like, yeah, just
Yeah, it's true.
my wanker was too large, too massive, too massive.
My wanker was too massive for her.
Yeah,
she eliminated me first.
Yeah. So yeah. So you went Australian a little bit on that. Okay, but there's an Australian version too. Maybe that's the one you were quoting.
I was not Australian. I cannot do an Australian accent very well.
But I think there is an Australian version too. So that's another example. New Zealand. There's a New Zealand. But anyway, and then so then they eliminate based off your genitals. You're like, your genitals are the worst, and then you dip, and then they don't just go, all right, now scurry away. They show the whole person, and then the person gives like a couple sentences.
So they just shame them.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes, I have the worst penis of all 6 penises. My name is Kyle McLaughlin, and I work on. That's an actual guy.
That's an actual. Can you do that to Trey McDougal?
Oh, damn it! But yeah, then and then he tells you he tells you like where he works and like what he does for a living. He's like, oh, it was a real good experience to actually get on the show and show my confidence that I've got now. I've got more confidence. Like, how do you have more confidence? She eliminated you first after seeing just your
that
dick.
Would decimate any level of confidence I've ever had in myself.
But no, here it is. That's the reason why I don't think there's an American version. It is all there's a lot of uncut cocks. I'll put it like that. So it's like a lot of different versions that aren't American. So I think these guys they seem to take it a lot better. So it goes, up to the waist first, and then she eliminates one, so she's down to 5 people. Then it goes to above the shoulders next. So you get to see their torso section, and then down to 4 people. Then it goes. I would get
That's when I would be eliminated.
They're like, get out of here. And then but you're like, give me one more second. I got these eyes. And then then they show the face next. And then they get down to 3, and then she gets to or whoever it is gets to ask each person a question, so they get to hear their voice, and then based off their voice, and some of them are shocking to you, like that's the guy's voice. Then they eliminate, and it's down to 2, and then when it gets down to the last 2, the contestant for some reason leaves to go get naked, and then comes back naked. I don't know why they just get naked right there. That like leave to go to a dressing room to get naked and come back naked. Anyway, you know what I mean. But then they go, it's so weird. But yeah, they come back naked, and then they're
not
like,
a stripping show.
I get. Well, yeah, you're right. Come on, let's have some
class, okay?
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So the person, and then the here's the thing: the contestants, like the 6, they kind of vary on looks, but the main contestants always like a good looking person. You know what I mean? They're always got like a smoke show body, and good. They're always like a solid 8, I'd say at least. Yeah. And then so now it's 3 people naked, and then the last 2 people kind of like, as they're naked, they're all naked together. They kind of like give their last piece, like, obviously you see me naked, and I think we vibe really cool, and blah blah, and I think we vibe pretty cool, and then by that point the person's pretty much already picked who they want. And then they pick who they want, and then they go on a date, and then it recaps it like 6 months later. They have them come back and be like, well, how's it going? Are you guys still, whatever, dating and blah, blah, blah.
And are they, or any of them?
Oh, so here's the thing. It's one of those shows where like, because each episode contains like 2 people, and it's like one of those shows like 2 episodes tops, and you're like, I get it. Like I can't. It's not one of those shows I can watch binge watch really, especially when I have a 6-year-old. He keeps like trying to walk in the room, like, get out of here.
So wait, what channel is it on? Because
Here's the thing. I've only been able to find it on torrents. I have no idea what channel it's on.
And are they like full on naked? There's no
blur. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not on like Hulu.
Okay.
It's there. It's you see everything. But it is. I guess maybe it is because it's British. It is kind of tasteful.
Oh yeah,
it's not gross. It's not like gross, and it's not a vulgar or anything like that. It is classy kind of in a way, but you are seeing like penises and vaginas.
Nudity differently, and
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't feel.
Seriously, when I'd work at the dining hall, serve the breakfast meal, and then we'd have breakfast meal closes down, and then we would eat breakfast. Yeah. And the German contractors would sit at their table, and they had a paper out, and I walked by to go take my tray, and the guy flipped to another page, and they were talking about like the beach and the summer weather, and it was just a chick and her boobs.
Yeah.
in the picture,
Yeah.
just normal in the newspaper. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Dude. So I remember when I first got to Japan, like the first 2 weeks we're not allowed to leave the base because they want to like give us all the up, they don't want us just going out there wilding out and getting faded and punching a Japanese dude, So like the first 2 weeks we're not allowed to go out, but then like they kind of set us up for like this final Friday where we all get to go out as a group and we get to just experience Japan like for the first time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So but you have to partner up with somebody. So me and this guy, we go out, we're all going out together and we go around the corner and it's like just in the middle, in the main area. And there's just this giant picture of a woman with her tits out. Just like a giant, huge poster of like, and then me and my friends looked at each other. We're like, we're coming back later on, right? We're figuring out what the fuck this is. And then we go in later on. We come back later and we go in. There's a Japanese guy just sitting at a booth when you walk in. It's just him in a booth, or like not a booth, at a like when you go into like a movie theater almost kind of thing, right? He's just sitting there like in a stool with like a little podium. And then we're like, what is this? We're trying to ask him questions. He just keeps telling us how much it is, And so finally my friend's like, fuck, it's on me. I got it. And then we pay it. And then we go in and it turns out, this is the weirdest thing, dude. It turns out it was one of those theaters from like the 1970s New York where there's like porn and guys jerking off in there, right? However, the porn has all the genitals blurred out.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's a porn that they're showing on a giant screen where dudes can go in there and jerk off collectively. But we went in there, saw what this was, and we're like, okay, let's get I'm not doing this together or by myself either. But yeah, we got the fuck out of there. But like, yeah, it was worth $20. I didn't spend it though. He said it's on me, so I was like, yeah. This is weird, but it's so weird that it was like they're like so open about like just a big picture of a chick with her tits out, like in the middle of the street. But then like they blur the genitals out,
Well, I mean, granted, because
in a porn though, it's a real porn. It's like all their porn, their genitals are blurred out.
Well, that's like Utah and the fucking and the strip clubs. They all have to wear pasties and they can't take. They have to wear tiny little thongs. They can't take their.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can't get naked and but they're wearing pasties.
That's
like they
not a strip club. That's like a go-go bar or something. I feel.
I know, it's Utah. It's Utah for it. Ugh, I know, for real. But the strippers are fucking hot.
I'm sure
they look so fucking good. Like they're fit. Their fucking tits are great, like, and they're really nice, Well, they're nice to us, because I'm a chick that, like, trust me.
Right. I'm pretty sure they're, much
They'd go in the forest with me. I don't know about you.
Right. About a bear. Yeah. Did I bring that up last time about a bear and a fucking man, or was that?
No, but I saw this Josh Jackson guy, the comedian, that dude.
The black dude?
Yeah, he was like talking about that, and he was like, he goes, the comments when dudes find out about it, they're just like, what the hell? That's so dumb. It's like, why would you choose a bear, you fucking stupid bitch?
The bear's less rude.
When I heard of that, that debate, it kind of made me laugh. I thought it was a joke, But like, there's women that are like very serious about that, and I'm like, have you seen a bear? Like not every man is a predator. Like, in fact, there's a lot of good protective men out there.
Right.
But every bear is a predator. Every bear will kill you on sight. Right. Every 100% of the time.
Especially if they got a cub nearby.
Oh God, yeah. Like bears are not what you think they are. If you would go
and like worst case scenario, and let's just like Brock Lesnar. Like I'm pretty sure if you got like you carry a firearm with you into the woods with you before you go alone. Boom, you shoot any dude down. You can shoot a bear a couple of times with a 9mm. It'll still eat your face off.
Exactly. You know if I was gonna be armed against a bear, I'd want a big fucking knife more than I'd want a gun.
I'd want bear mace. I'd have bear mace to at least slow him down, and then a big knife. Like every time movie, The Reverend.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Yeah, I talked about that.
We're on the same page on that one. That's a sick ass scene.
That scene's fucking crazy. That whole movie, like, it's so beautiful too.
It's a great movie. Yeah. But that scene was like, really wild. Got me on board of the movie. I was like, holy shit. Okay, I'm on board now.
Well, I don't understand why he kept trying to attack the bear back. Like the bear was walking away and going away, and it's like, and he like could have walked away himself, but he like further injured himself even more by trying to kill the bear. And I don't. That's the one part that I was like, dude, just fucking go away, like go. He could have gotten away. He could have fucking joined his party and blah 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 blah. But he he fucked around and he found out.
Yeah, I guess so, dude. Yeah.
Like that's the only part that kind of was like,
everyone loves a good comeback story though. So I mean, he had to hit the rock bottom area so he could have a sick comeback. So. Yeah. All right. So hold on. I have a real quick side note. So you know who Jessica Simpson is, obviously, right? Did you know? Yeah, Jessica Simpson, blonde chick. She's her sister's Ashley Simpson.
Yeah, I'm aware.
She was married her. To she was married. I was gonna keep going to you. All right, so Jessica Simpson, she when she was like
that
middle
sister
school,
fell and hit the ugly branch of that family.
Well, and then she got the nose job though.
Yeah.
What really fucked her up was, remember, did you ever see that Saturday Night Live episode?
That's what I was just gonna say. Yeah, she Milli Vanilli'd herself. Like, so holy
perfect reference. All right, though, but that's what I was saying. So Jessica Simpson, when she was like in middle school, she went to the Chuck Norris School of Acting. Okay. And apparently
Chuck Norris. Okay. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. I don't know why I pictured Hulk Hogan. I was like, wait, he's got a school of acting?
Yeah.
Never mind. Chuck Norris. Okay, sorry.
Chuck Norris isn't much of a... All right. Well, anyway, Chuck Norris has a school of acting. Like, he's teaching motherfuckers.
Of course he is. He's Chuck Norris.
Of course he is. He told her that she was a terrible actress because she moved her eyebrows too much, right? And then he asked her, do you want to know who the best actor in the world is? And she was like, sure. And he was like, Denzel Washington. And then he's like, you want to know why? Can you guess why, Stephanie?
Because he has a bum finger?
Because he never moves his eyebrows when he acts. That's what he said. And I can't watch a Denzel movie the same.
That's interesting.
Check it out, dude. Watch a scene with Denzel Washington.
You can't animate your face when you act?
No, that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard. He moves his eyebrows. That's what I'm saying. But I'm always watching the movie to be like, I just like, is he moving? Are those?
You're like, I'm putting this on to watch his eyebrows.
Yeah, exactly. I've watched a few scenes and I'm like,
the story
I've watched just scenes on YouTube. I don't even care I don't even know what movie it's from. I'm like, I just need to see Denzel act, and then I'm like analyzing his eyebrows, and I'm like, I mean, his forehead's moving, but his eyebrow. It's like I don't. It's a rabbit hole I've gone down that you should join me on. Again, give me your findings because I want to know.
I mean, I have a segment I want to do of like actors whose role ruined it for you.
Right. We'll get to that. Yeah,
we could add that a subcategory of do they move their eyebrows?
Do they or do they not move their eyebrows? Which is the sign of a great actor. According to the great Chuck Norris, the great and still not late Chuck Norris. He's still alive, dude, kicking it. He beat out Isa Sagat. What was his name again? Isa Sagawa.
Yeah.
Too clever. Too late. Too late.
Okay, so some crazy ideas that I found on the internet, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about. Okay, so this one I found interesting. Someone said ankle monitors should be default for enforcing a restraining order with a lawyer or a judge having to approve any exceptions. We already have satellites and cell towers and the other infrastructure that would be involved for seeing where the monitor thing is. As for the cost of the equipment itself, just deduct part or all of it, depending on how much it actually is, from the perpetrator's bank account. If he or she doesn't turn over the amount willingly, in the same way, they might take an unpaid ticket, fine, or whatever. But someone else commented and said the person wants the restraining order should pay for that kind of tracking. I don't think they should do an ankle monitor, but I think having a tracker, because someone commented both parties should wear it so that way you can know if they're violating the restraining order, because they have to be so many distance away from the person. Right. So if you can see that they're getting too close to the person, or if the other person's fucking, because sometimes people get those and then they just play around with them, Right.
I would say at the very least, they both have to download an app. You know what I mean? They both have to download this tracker app where and then you can tell
and
how close, and if you're getting too close.
But see, I think but see, you could always put that down, like a perpetrator can put something down and then go somewhere. I feel like it, not necessarily an ankle monitor, but something that you can't take off, something discreet, whatever. Because I don't know, I find the comments were like, oh, just call the police. Because they show up every time on time.
Dude, I've seen too many, I watch documentaries. So many people, a lot of instances where the cops were like, we really can't do anything about this, or we really can't, the best we can do is he can only go He can't go when you're at work, or but we can't. If you're both at Walmart, we can't stop that. We can't get fault him for being at Walmart with you, and like the amount of things that like loopholes that like people can find to and not get restraining orders sent against them, or the cops have a lot less authority than people think to be able to do shit about that. And like I've seen so many cases where people like have restraining orders against this person, or have told the cops several times this person's like fucking with them. They're like, well, do you have any proof? I mean, are they really doing anything dangerous? I mean, they're just following you? That's not really a crime, blah blah, stuff like that. And then they end up dying.
I feel like, I mean, people still have rights, but I mean, if a piece of paper isn't going to stop somebody, I like the idea of having a monitor, and especially both people wearing them so you can know for sure if they're too close or whatever, but I actually really do like that idea because, and I think, the person, the victim or the person putting the restraining order in place, it should have like a button or something on their monitor where they could easily just
alert
push the button. Yeah.
Right. Development, dude. Hit up a developer. We got an idea right here. But here, where else were you gonna say?
No.
I was gonna say something. I was gonna say like another thing too. I've seen like a couple of cases like this though. On the flip side of that, it was a husband and wife, and he had a kid, from a previous marriage, and they had a kid together, and then they had a spat or whatever, and then she'd kicked him out and said that he had been like molesting the kids, and so he got a restraining order on him. He wasn't doing any of that shit, but then she was like forcing him to pay all this money and blah blah all this stuff. A fake restraining order to keep him away from being able to see his kids. He actually didn't do anything. So there's that other side of it where like,
well, yeah, I also had friends a couple years ago, this crazy chick that was breaking up with one of the friends because the two of them got together. Mm-hmm. And so she like put a restraining order against his new girlfriend. It was just the weirdest story too. Yeah. And so it's like those kind of things I don't agree with. Right. I think it's like, because a lot of times the restraining orders come about through a violent situation where your safety is in danger. You know what I mean? And so it's like, okay, I need to get a restraining order now, or I just broke up with someone and I fear they're violent and I need to stay away from them. Yeah,
and a lot of times it's not that easy. It's not that easy just to say that though. Just to be like, I feel afraid. They're like, we can't give you a restraining order just because you feel, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that.
Well, you have to exactly, give but because it's like if there was, I don't know. I think if there was a way to give some kind of, I don't know, because a lot of these situations the public needs to realize like the government isn't going to help you. They don't fucking care about you. You need to arm yourself. You need to fucking, like your safety is ultimately up to you. However, like, you're leaving an abusive situation, or you got someone stalking you, or both, you know what I mean? Like, like those kind of situations, I really support that, putting a monitor on both parties. But like, the stupid cases that judges see, because I don't know. Because I wouldn't necessarily want to say it's up to the judge's discretion, because there's sometimes where the judges will see a case of horrific bullshit and still rule in favor of the perpetrator. And so that's why it's like it either has to be standard or no. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
and then I found this weird through a case. I basically, what a grand jury is, right? It's basically what, the process. I'm just, okay, for our listeners.
It's like a really big jury. Like,
no, it's the process.
No, I know. I'm
through.
Kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm talking for the listeners, though. It's a process that they go through before they go to decide if they should go to a trial, right? This case has enough evidence. Well, I found out that in Texas, it's a huge practice where the prosecutor wants to go to trial, and he wants this guy or girl to be guilty, right? Uh-huh. So he wants the grand jury to say, yes, we need to push this. Well, what he can do is he'll get one of his buddies, like a former police officer or something like that, to be the head of the grand jury and say, hey, pick 11 more people that and whatever they say in testimony or whatever, just make sure we go to trial. And just taint the grand jury, and it's a practice. Like in Texas, they do it all the time. It's common.
Oh, I was just going to say,
I'm just saying, in Texas.
Yeah, that shit happens all the time. There was a whole ass movie. Did you see that movie about it? The Runaway Jury. Is that what they're called? Is that what that movie's called? It's got John Cusack. It was. If
it's got John Cusack, I'm pretty sold.
Yeah, he's a great actor. I like him.
I like his sister too, Joan.
Oh my God, I love her. She's so zany. I just love how zany she is. Yeah, she's really funny.
Yeah,
I identify.
She's got
with
a good
her
comedic.
Oh yeah, huh? I said I identify with her sometimes.
I could see it. Yeah,
so
I get it.
Weird. Yeah.
Some of the faces she makes.
Yeah, I know.
Go ahead.
So I have another. This one, I thought this one was kind of interesting. The crazy idea is this person proposes a virtual reality game
Hmm.
where you are two people where you have your live camera on and
Hmm.
they see what you see, and because you have the camera swapped so it's facing outward, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you could see what their camera is seeing, they see what your camera is seeing, and you have to try to
Right.
find each other based off of what each other's seeing. Obviously, you could take your headset off to like navigate and still see
Right.
stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But that's where I don't think it
That,
should
yeah.
be
I don't like the
I don't
virtual
think
reality part.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think virtual reality is fucking stupid anyway. So it's like you should just have it on, have your phone, just
Yeah. I
have
like
your
that
camera
better.
swapped and just point your phone, like in front of you. You don't have to fling it everywhere, you know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
But just like you could even get to a corner, and show the street signs. They were discussing like different difficulty levels. So you're not allowed to verbally communicate, and you also can't like use text or anything like that. Like it's
Sure.
just visual. That's it. And
Uh,
so, and then also was like having distance parameters where it's like you don't want to try to find someone who's more than 30 miles from
right.
you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it should just be in your neighborhood, like a 10-mile radius kind of
Yeah,
thing.
like if I gotta like, fill up before I go, like, you know what I mean? Like it's too far.
Yeah.
If I gotta put
But
gas
at the
before I go
same
in this
time, too, like
illustration.
who are you matching up? Like I don't want to
That's what
find.
I was saying too. Like I was
I
just like
just thought of that. Like,
just random. That's what I was saying.
yeah,
That's why I asked. I was like, it's
like
just
a
random because
fucking
like
killer, a serial killer is
how
like,
many
I love this game.
right, dude. This is like it's like when like when pedophiles heard there was a Boy Scouts or like and they just let anybody join. Like you know what I mean? Like
I
that's what a
know.
serial killers do. Like, oh my God, I can just people are asking me to come murder them.
So
But
wait,
no, but then
Halloween, the kids will just come to my house.
I know, dude. I know, right? Oh God.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what this is. But yeah, there has to be
Yeah, I think
some
it
kind of
should.
like, I don't know.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. It would be, I don't know, it could be a fun like thing for a dating app, but
That's what I was saying. That'd be cute. Like if it was like
or
a
you
Tinder.
could get a group of people together and do like a
Hmm.
scavenger hunty
Right.
kind of game. So it's like you and your friends, you guys are all trying to, find each other.
Because the thing I was thinking is like, first of all, I was thinking like, why would you cheat? Like, what are you trying to win? Like, who are you playing against? So that was one thing. And also, too, the second thing I was thinking would be cool if, like you said, two people, but there's like a list of locations that like, and then you both are matched to the same location, and then you both have to go. Whoever gets that location first wins. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
that's
there's
cool.
so there,
That
yeah. So
would be
there's
cool.
both.
Yeah.
You both are matched, or there's a group of people that are matched to the same location, and there's like a start time, and then boom, whoever gets there, you know what I mean, something like that. That seemed,
Yeah.
or like you said, the group, like a group thing. But yeah, just like, hey, come find me, random stranger. I'm on the
I know.
corner
Yeah.
of First and La Brea, or whatever. Fuck, dude, that's
I
crazy.
found that to be interesting. Yeah. I was like, I got to bring this to the table. This is kind of interesting
Did
idea.
a serial killer develop? I think it was a serial
I
killer who developed this, dude.
know. For real. Okay.
He was on the ground
This is
floor.
my last one,
Okay.
but I snagged it because it's for guitar and you play guitar. And so, because I don't know what this guy's talking about. So
Okay.
so I got to get your opinion. A
Okay.
guitar whose strings are all A, but one octave apart. Every string starts with A, just each one is an octave higher. That means the scale is the same on every string. All 6 strings will, for instance, produce a C note on the 4th fret at the perfect octave part. It would mean relearning how to play for any existing guitarist, but be easier to learn for any new guitarist. It would also mean any sheet music would effectively be tabs, since the notes would perfectly align with the strings. I don't play guitar.
Yeah, I was about to say, what the fuck is this guy talking about? All right, go ahead.
That made me laugh my ass off.
Yeah.
But I do play bass. So this is a form from an outside. I'm sorry. So this is from an outside observer. Guitarist, how crazy is this? So
Yeah,
how
fucking
crazy is that?
dude. That's bananas, dude. Okay, so first of all, why?
Bananas.
Yeah, yeah, dude. I know. Quick shout out to Gwen Stefani. I forever know. I can pull that out of
No,
my
man,
back pocket at any
Fergie,
time and be like,
Fergie, always and forever. I know how to spell delicious. Thank you.
delicious,
Mhm.
delicious, glamorous.
Oh
as well.
God, yeah, I know.
Glamorous, delicious, and bananas. Though I never have to go because like Mississippi, like Mississippi. You had to think about it. Bananas was one of those words.
Mississippi.
Yeah. I had to think about bananas for a while, but after that song came
Dude,
out, I'm like,
Halloween took me a little bit. I had to sing the song. There's a song. It's like HALLOWWEN spells Halloween.
there's
And
two double.
literally
It's back to back W's. It is it? Oh shit, is it?
no,
It's
it's
hollow and then ween.
W double
Oh,
E.
WEEN. Okay. I was like,
So
there's
every
two
time I
W's?
spell Halloween, I do.
Do
And
that.
to this day, I sing that song in my head.
Dude, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
So anyway,
Or are beautiful too. I remember someone was like, it's BEAU Tiffle. And I always remember that one. But anyway, what were we talking about?
the guitar strings being
Oh yeah.
to
So
A.
that's first of all, why would you why? I don't get it. Why would you want so like starting from like that's crazy. And then I don't get it, dude. I don't get why
I know
why
a
you
lot
do
of the
that.
commenters are like, it might be easier to learn, but it's way harder to play. Most common chords would require crazy long fingers.
Yeah, you would have to just to play like a normal chord, you would have to like I don't even understand how you'd play normal voicings to play like a normal so it would just fuck up the whole there's no point
Well,
to
yeah,
that.
and because isn't each string a different note? Because why would you
Right.
want,
So yeah, so I always remember it goes
everyone to be A? That's just weird.
so it goes right now from the bottom, from the highest string to the lowest string. It goes Easter bunnies get drunk after Easter. That's how I remember it. So it's
Of course, it has to do with drinking.
Of course, dude. I learned it when I was 14, but still, yeah, it does. I think when my teacher originally told me, he used a different word. He said like dance or something like that, and I was like, nah. When I got older, I was like, it's drink, But anyway, that's how I remember. Yeah. So and then I don't understand why you would do that. That's crazy. That sounds stupid. I'm gonna try it though later on. Now there's no way. Then plus like I don't understand like an octave high. Like I don't know. I don't get it, dude.
I don't either.
And he's saying like all the scales. It'd be the same scale. Like the fingers would be the same. You'd be playing the same scales on everything. No, it wouldn't even make sense because to play a lot of scales, you go like down to the next string, but the next string would be different. It'd be A. So I don't even know how in a higher octave. So you just have to play a whole scale on one string before you could go to the next scale. Then now it's crazy. It's stupid. I don't do it. Anyone out there who's wanting to learn to play guitar, don't do this way.
Don't you
do it the normal way. Just do it the normal way that they've been doing since guitars came out, since like the minstrels, when they bloom 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 bloom, they've been doing it. Easter bunnies get drunk after Easter since then. Don't change it. Too clever, too late, too late.
Too late. Pew, 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 pew. I found some "Am I the Asshole" stories that were.
I can't get over it. That was just good. All right.
I found some "Am I the Asshole?"
Yeah,
can't do that one.
It doesn't roll off the tongue the same,
AITH.
Yeah. H.
Wait, no.
There's no. I was like,
Am I the
actual?
hole?
Am I the hole? Am I the hole? That's better. That's better, dude. We're changing it. Am I the hole? Oh, okay. So, all right. So, quick. That kind of.
What?
For some reason, that kind of reminds me of this story, real quick. So I'll just go and throw this in before you get to yours because I think it just fits. And it's not quite a it's not an "Am I the Asshole?" It's a "Today I fucked up." But anyway, so this guy says he ordered some groceries for a delivery and he went out for a quick run before people got crazy, right? And they ended up he got back right as the delivery person was there, who happened to be a pretty cute girl, he said. And he said, "Hey, I've just gotten back from a run. Can I go grab my ID?" And so he runs inside to grab his ID, leaving the door slightly open. And as he asked her if there was anything else, but she didn't seem to understand him. So then he asked where she's from. She said Venezuela. And he said, "Oh, okay, cool. Have a good day." And she says, "Okay, bye to you too." And then she goes to leave and turn around. But just as she leaves, his cat comes around, leaves out the corner, or like leaves out the corner of the door being open. Uh-huh. And she doesn't see him. And then he yells out, "Girl, get your ass back over here." So then the delivery girl's like, "No, I already said bye." And runs away.
I
Girl,
know
get your back.
I know if I was her, I'd be like, oh no, I'll see
Girl,
ya.
get your ass back over here. No, I already said bye.
I already said goodbye. I'm
I already
leaving.
said bye. But no, that's for some reason that reminded me of this. But yeah, go ahead.
No,
All right,
that's
you're
fucking funny.
or am I the whole story? Go ahead.
Am I the whole?
Am I the whole lot? All right, all right, all right.
So I saw this on, it's a Reddit story, and it was actually, it brought up so many, yeah, I feel this way, but I also feel this way. So I thought it was a
Right.
good divided. It's written in the perspective of a husband. His wife got invited on this $3,000 all-inclusive trip to go with her friend, and her sole purpose is to provide an alibi for her friend to cheat on her husband.
Uh-huh.
And so the husband,
He's the one writing it, right? The husband of the wife that got the
yeah, we'll
that
call,
got
yeah,
the
the
invitation.
husband's writing it. Yeah. And his wife got invited by her friend to go on this trip, and her friend's going to pay for everything. There's a $3,000 amount that was thrown out. So that's what I'm assuming it's going to cost, whatever. So
Right.
it's like his wife's not going to have to pay for anything.
Right, I get it.
She's just there to be an alibi for this other husband.
Just be like, yeah, nah, Michelle was over here. We were having a
Yeah,
good
it was just a
time.
girls' trip.
Girls
you know?
trip, yeah. Pat, we got the cucumbers on our eyelids treatment, mud baths.
Oh, yeah. Spa days. It's
Yeah.
great. The husband, he's not happy about it and is kind of questioning if she does go on this trip.
Right.
It makes him kind of question.
Like, is she gonna all of a sudden invite this bitch on some trip next year? And
Well, that
I gotta
she-
wonder.
Yeah,
I gotta
that
wonder if
he's
she's
kinda-
fucking some guy named Hugo.
Yeah, it's like making him question their relationship,
Right. I get it, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, like he's completely, because he's kind of like, if she does go, it's gonna,
Right.
it's kind of like, it's kind of a finality kind of thing for him, even,
Right. Okay.
And because where I see it too is it's like, because I try to see what would I do if I got invited
Right.
on a trip because my friend
Right.
wanted to cheat on her husband.
Right.
Like, I mean, yeah, I'd be like, it's like, we're going to Europe. And I'm like, okay, let me get my passport.
I would need more. I would need more information. Because for instance, if Serenity did that, my wife, if she did that and she was like, hey, and it depended on the friend. It depended on how the friend and her husband's like. If it was one of those things,
exactly, like what's their relationship? Is he
Right.
devoted and like,
is he been
a wonderful guy, or is he a fucking pile of shit?
right? Or has he cheated on her in the past and he took her back, or she took him back? So I would need like a little bit more information to be like really on one side. But yeah, that would kind of like if my wife told me about
because that would play a factor for me too. Because if he
Right.
was a devoted, wonderful husband,
Right.
I would have a serious problem with that.
Right, same.
But if he was a pile of shit husband
Right.
and I witnessed him being a pile of shit, like, how much of a pile of shit that dude was,
Right.
So if it was her and him, then I would completely be her alibi. But if it was like, if he was a good husband and all that kind of shit, I don't know if I could. And in fact, it would make me question my friendship with her. Like, your morality sucks. So it's like, are you being 100 with me? You know, like if you're going to cheat on your fucking husband, what are you going to do to me?
Right. And I've always run by the motto, like, if they'll do it to someone else, they'll
do it to you.
Yeah, I mean, like just because
exactly.
and then but I guess it really boils down to me, like same thing you said, like it depends on how comfortable I am with that friend cheating on her husband. Like if I'm like, you know what, he deserves to be cheated on. He's been cheating on you, or he fucking. He makes you pay for every, he's a shit person.
He's a piece of shit, yeah.
But if it's like, dude, you're gonna go cheat on him, why? And I'm like, and I felt bad about that, then it'd make me question my friend who asked me to do it, because it was vice versa.
And
like,
it
my
depends
friend was
on
like,
the degree of which, because I don't know that I would run and tell him, but if she was being a pile of shit about it, then like the degree, to the extreme case, then I would tell him. But honestly, if he was a good guy and she wanted to cheat, I would be like, nah. And that would be it. You know what I mean? But
I'd probably be like, I may even go as far as to be like, are you sure you want to do that? Dude, that could really fuck up a lot of things, I'd probably
Well,
kind of
have you heard
even
of
try to talk about
maybe
it a little bit.
if you want to cheat, like why are you cheating? Like, do
Yeah,
you
yeah.
not love him anymore? Are you not attracted to him anymore? Because like just break up,
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That'd be
like
a lot
why do you
of
gotta
stipulations.
because he's your meal ticket still? Oh, okay. That's half the reason.
Right, like I have two examples. Like I actually have one. We had one friend, one of Serenity's friends, who like her husband had cheated on her before, and like she suspected him of cheating like, on her again, and it turns out that he was with his like secretary, and then like so if that friend had been like, hey, I'm gonna do this, I would have been like, yeah, that makes sense, and that's like your best friend, and like, go get that free trip to freaking France or whatever. That's cool, dude, good for you. But I had another friend. We had another group of friends, couple, and like the wife would just like push the boundaries of how far she could cheat on this guy. And like if she had, and like she actually did fly somewhere and cheat on him. And if she had asked my wife to do it and my wife had accepted, I would look at my wife different. I would have questioned a lot of things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's how this
So
husband feels. He's like,
so yeah,
yeah, because
so it depends on the it really depends on the friend
hmm
and the relationship. For me, anyway, it would depend on which friend is asking and how is that relationship, and like is this friend being the piece of shit for cheating, or is she just like getting back,
yeah,
or is she
because
like
if it's our mutual friend that I was talking about earlier, I would
mhm.
totally be her alibi. But if it was like
Right,
Serenity doing it to you kind of thing,
right.
I would
Oh,
completely be
and
like,
I would hope
yeah.
you're a kind of like bro code.
Well,
I'm your
that's
friend
where the
more,
bro
you know what I'm
code would clearly I
saying?
would tell you.
And that'd be fucked up too. She's trying, dude. Yeah, here's one thing I will say. I can honestly not see her ever do like she would break up with me first, or she would have a talk with
Well,
me
I know
first.
I used you
You know what
guys
I
as an
mean?
example because you guys are a
No, no.
couple who
I'm
actually
saying
loves each other and
I
you're a
know that's why
devoted husband. You know what I
I'm
mean? You're a
comfortable with
good
that being an example.
husband. Yeah,
Fine.
like maybe a couple like you guys. You know what I mean? Like if I
Yeah.
knew a couple like you guys and it
Right. No, that's
was
what I'm saying.
yeah,
That would
yeah.
be a fucked up example. Like,
It,
yeah, if
it
that did
yeah.
happen and I'm being a good husband, I'm like, and she's like,
Then
I'm
I
gonna
would
cheat on
have
him
a
with.
really
I'd be
yeah,
like, what the fuck, dude?
I would end
Yeah,
my
of course.
friendship.
Or what if like you were with some guy. Okay, so what if you started dating some guy, got real serious, you guys are like, been dating for a while, and then I invite him on a trip. What would you do then? Would you be like, would you tell on me? Sure you would. You should.
What so you could cheat kind of thing?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh
I invite
fuck, dude.
your husband so I could cheat on Serenity.
Oh
That's
my
not gonna happen.
God.
That's a fucking
No,
that's just
I
I
know,
mean,
but oh my
I don't have that
God.
kind of
Like, why
cash,
would
dude.
you
I'm not
tie my
paying.
hands like that?
I
No,
know.
I would be so first of all, I would be like, no, that's trip's not happening. I would tell
Right, yeah.
both of you that. I'm
Right,
like,
yeah, yeah.
no, this
Both
trip
with an
is
L,
not
hard
fun.
L.
Like, I would completely sabotage that
Right.
fucking trip.
Well, what if I just invite him on a trip with no intent? Like that was
No
not the
intentions
intention.
to cheat. I
You're
don't give
just
a fuck. Have
you're.
fun.
So this is really. I'm not sure if this is you had to be there a moment or not, but you ever seen that movie Brokeback Mountain?
No, but my friend Tanya, she lived two doors down from me and she used to watch the
Yeah,
weirdest movies. She's like, 70, come here. I got to show you something. I got to show you something. And I'm
yeah.
like, what? And I run in her room and it's the scene right when they start fucking. And I'm
Hard.
like, God. And it was like a car wreck.
Yeah,
I
you couldn't look
like,
away.
I was literally watching through my fingers. I was like, oh my
Right.
God.
Okay, so like so I have that device where I can like watch all the movies I want, right? Well, anyway, so a couple years ago, Serene and I both realized that neither one of us had seen Brokeback Mountain, but we're like, oh, it seems we have the capabilities now. So and we both like I've always kind of wanted to see it, I guess. So we looked it up, and then I go like, God damn, that thing's almost 3.5 hours long. And then she goes, what is? And I go, Brokeback Mountain. She goes, God damn, it's a long ass mountain. But she meant to say long ass movie. So it's like an
I know, but
inside
I
joke.
like how a hypothetical, you taking my man out on a trip
Brokeback Mountain.
reminds you of Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah.
Now you really can't go because
Yeah.
you're gonna try
Yeah.
to make him gay.
No,
It'll
that's
be a
what I'm
bait.
saying. Why?
You're gonna cheat on
Yeah.
your wife with my
Why
man.
else would I be taking your man away just on a guy? There's absolutely no reason for me and another dude to just go off by ourselves.
I would want to go on like a couple's trip. You know what I
Sure,
mean? Like,
but
yeah.
a couple's trip. I'm not just taking your man and me and him.
I know because I'm like,
couple.
why can't me and Serenity go?
We're the couple now.
No, we're going, but we're just spying on you guys the whole time.
Yeah. That sounds plausible. No, but here's the thing: there's no way I'm paying for me to go to France and someone else to go to France. Fuck that, dude. and that I'm not. We're fucking, dude. Even if I wasn't, even if
Oh, that
what?
also brings up another thing. You're paying for your friend to go on this cheating trip. Like that dick better be worth it.
Right, dude. That better be
You're
some fire
paying,
penis, dude.
yeah, you're paying $3,000 to get railed by some dude that's not your
No, you're
husband.
paying
Like it
six because
better.
you're paying three
Yeah,
for
that's
you and
true. You
her,
got it yourself too. Like that better be some
bro.
world class.
That's how much
Yeah.
my used car cost. I have a car that I drive quite a bit, and that's how much it costs. And she's
I
just
mean,
getting
that
dicked.
says a lot about her husband's dick too.
Yeah,
Like this girl's willing to pay all this fucking
six
money
G's, or
to
he's got a
go
bomb
fuck
ass job and
somebody.
he's a good provider. That's what he.
I know that's what makes it even worse because it creeps the other husband out. So maybe this guy is a good guy, provides a great life. He's
good guy,
basically
good provider. He's got
yeah,
six. She's got grand just to blow on dick, dude. Like, come on.
I know, and it's not
Is she?
even his.
I need
Yeah,
to know if he. I need to know if she's working. Like, how'd she get this money to pay for all this too?
right. I know she could be like a doctor, and we're fucking.
I know. And then
Like,
he's like a
and
fucking
he's a
giant
used car
bum.
salesman, you know.
Right, yeah. Not even yeah, and he's like the one from like True Lies.
I was just gonna say that,
Is that the
Bill
one you thought?
Paxton. Yeah. Shut the fuck
Simpatico.
up. That's so funny because I was
Simpatico,
gonna
dude.
let you give your example, and I was gonna say
Same one. But yeah, that was the first example. Every time I think of a shitty used car
I
salesman,
think
that's
of him
always
too. Yeah.
right away, right off the bat. Too clever, too late, too late.
Too late. Pew, 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 pew. And I have another "Am I the asshole?" story, but it's not a divided. It's actually kind of an interesting one. So actually, mine's not really that interesting. I guess I could just tell you, but like this chick, she like it's like a would I be the asshole, but I don't know. I think she just wanted to toot her own moral horn or something.
Right.
But she
A lot of them are like that, dude. Like I said, like a lot of them are kind of clear
see, I could have done wrong, but I
right, yeah.
didn't.
But a lot of them are like that. Like they just want the internet to validate them for being a good person.
For being a
You're
good
like,
person. Yeah.
we
It's like
get
the
it,
people
dude.
who take pictures of them donating to the needy, you know. It's like,
Oh,
see,
I could go. I even have a lyric in a song about that where like I'm a cool guy. I forgot what I said, but anyway, like yeah, like I'm cool because I've give people money on Instagram. You know what I mean? Like that's
mhm.
what because like yeah, people you can just give someone money. You know,
I know. You
you
can
don't have to
completely,
post it
dude, I
and
saw
make them
this
act.
guy donating hella money for COVID stuff,
Yeah,
and he posts the receipt and how much he donated on Facebook. He's like,
right.
see,
Ah,
I'm
I'm a
like,
good person, right? Huh?
go
See,
fuck yourself,
I
dude.
max out
Like,
my dad's
fuck
credit card.
off.
See,
I
you know what
know.
I mean?
So my dad's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah, dude. Like, cause yeah, it's all. None of these guys are like, they all just like make videos where they give people money and they make them act like all these homeless people don't want to be in a video. They just like want to chill and drink some wine
I just
on a
want to be high
corner.
on these fucking drugs
Yeah,
they just scored.
come on, bro. Damn, give me the money. If you could just bring me the drugs directly, that'd be better. You know what I mean?
Just shoot me up, please.
Yeah, just while I'm asleep, tie me off. But yeah,
But anyway, this
where how did we get here?
I know, yeah. No, just this chick, she's Asian. Her whole
All right.
family lives together, adult children. She says it's normal for their culture or whatever. Well,
Mm,
her mom keeps bugging the son about getting married and having kids, la la la. Well, he's like been with this chick for a while, and then she becomes pregnant, and he like just completely walks out on her. And then he tells his family, like, she's pregnant. Don't talk to her. Don't do anything. I'll kill myself if you help her and this baby. Like, and so the mom and the dad completely are on his side. They want to send him because they live in some foreign country, but they wants to send him to another foreign country
okay.
so that it won't, stain his life, and just
Okay.
like it's just so fucked up. And the sister's like, no, fuck that. And she's helping the woman and the baby, and she's like, got ideas from the Redditors to like set up a trust for the baby so that,
Right.
and it's cool. She's stepping up to help, but like the other, like the mom and the dad are like completely like, just like, wiping his ass for him basically and letting him, just be a pile of shit. Cause I told Max, I gave him the rundown cause he has a girlfriend, they're sexually active. And I'm like, look, none of that shit's going to go on in my house. Like if you pay rent here, like you're an adult right now, but you're still in high school. And once you're out of high school, we'll discuss your living arrangements and blah, blah, blah. But until you're actually paying rent here, you can't, be behind closed doors with her. You guys have to keep your fucking pants on. Cause I walked in
Okay.
one day and they were under the covers with their pants off. I was like,
Oh, you're talking about
no.
your kid?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I gave him the rundown. I was like, look, we're not doing any, and because I told him, I was like, look, if
You wait, wait,
you,
wait. You go back. You came in one day and you caught her with her pants off.
well, yeah, they were laying like the door was open, like they're
Sure,
supposed
but
to.
they're a little too comfortable.
Yeah, a little too comfortable for my, and especially for me. I was like, that makes me uncomfortable. I really don't like it.
I don't want to
Stop.
see. I don't want to see
I was
like
like,
the
your girlfriend.
outlines
Well, I was
of
like, your
things.
girlfriend is completely welcome here. She is not
Right.
welcome here without her pants on.
Good. That's exactly how you're exactly how my mom talked to me. I remember I was like 31 and she was still trying to tell me that, hey,
Well,
your little girlfriends can come over here, but if you need to do that, you got to get a hotel on your own. You can pay for a hotel. That's what she was telling me.
well, when they're, if they live together in their own place and they come to visit me and they're not married, like they can fucking, do their thing because they're adults. They live together. It's
Right, right.
the jig is up.
Nah, I'm okay. That's where I do kind of see my mom's side of it though. She'd be like, if you're gonna spend 2 nights at my house, you can either not fuck or you can go get a hotel if you really want to fuck, but you're not
Oh
fucking
my
in my
God,
house.
it's
I
just
mean, like,
sex. Because they
I
live
know,
together.
but
They're having sex
it's a
anyway.
small house.
Well,
It's a
that's
small
where our conversation from last, it's like, yeah, that's why you be quiet. And if you want to
Yeah.
be loud, go somewhere else. Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, if you want to be,
Yeah,
if
no,
you're,
I
if we're
get
gonna
what
be
you're saying. Sorry.
dicking down, yeah, then like, but
Because
yeah, if you want to do some like real gentle like side fucking, I guess you could be real quiet about it.
well,
But
why do you have to fuck at your parents' house?
exactly,
Can't you go a night without
just wait
sex?
to.
Like,
That's what I'm
Jesus
saying. If you're
Christ.
gonna be there for 2 nights, like fucking just relax, dude. Like, how horny are you? He is 18, but
But
Jesus.
anyway, so I was talking to him about, sex and babies and all this shit. Like
Mhm.
not the birds and the bees, but just I was
I hope
telling him
not.
like
Barely.
yeah, because I just told him I was like, look, you guys are making me very nervous, okay? Like
Mhm.
I'm too young to be a grandma.
Mhm.
You are too young to
Mm.
derail your life like that. And
Grandma
I'm like,
Stephanie, yeah,
shut the fuck
that's
up.
such a possibility,
And I
dude.
told him, I said, look, because this, I believe as a single mother who raised 3 children as a single mother, okay, like it takes a village, okay? So I'm here for you, but I'm too worn out to do that right now. So
Right now,
don't put that on me.
right?
And I looked him in the eyes and I said, and if you run from your responsibilities, I will disown you.
Mhm.
And he's like, okay. And I'm
Nah,
like,
he won't do that.
no, yeah, I don't think he would either. But yeah, I basically told him, like, you create a child, you're sticking around and dealing with it. But I was like, you guys are too young for that. Okay. Like,
You don't
just
want that
live.
responsibility right now, dude. Enjoy
Exactly.
your life.
Well, and he's like, believe it or not, mom, my sisters are teaching me the importance of birth control. And I'm like, good. That's why I send them in there to play with you guys. They're the perfect little cock
Yeah,
blocks.
they are, dude. Oh my god, dude. My daughter is like, it's an art for her, dude. Like, I swear, like she'll like wait till we like pants are starting to come off, and then she'll be like, "Mom, I need you in the other room
she can
immediately."
sense it. She can
I
sense
swear,
it.
dude, for like years, she's been like, we were like, all right, she's been in bed. It doesn't matter. She like, we just put her down. She just fell asleep. We got time. Or she's been asleep for like 30 minutes. It's like she's in it now. Or she's been asleep for like 2 hours. She's really in it now. It doesn't matter. She always, as soon as we pants start, I don't wear zippers anymore just to like, cut down the noise. And she still gets
She'll
it.
hear them.
She still gets it, dude. She still with
I
a
know.
drawstring.
I don't know what I'm gonna do when I get a man. They never leave me alone, and so I'm just gonna.
There's no way, man. You're gonna have to like. Well, at least you
I
have.
have a lock on my door, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have.
At least you have kind of some built-in date. Like you have Alan who could take him sometimes, so you can kind of go on dates, I guess. Maybe eventually bone somewhere else. I don't know.
No, it's been years, okay? I'm gonna get laid in my bed and they'll deal with it, okay?
Right.
I'll fucking, I'm gonna put a TV in your room. I'm gonna trick out your room and make it so fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
I will put a mini fridge in there. You could just get snacks anytime you
Boom.
want. Just
Dude, that's better than my room.
Mom get dicked down, okay?
Yep.
So I know, because I remember when my mom and stepdad, like they knew each other back in high school and then life happened and then they reconnected,
Mm.
And so it was really fun, and I always wanted to sit and hang out while they talked, and my mom would like shut me out of her room and it would hurt my feelings. But I'm like, I want to talk too. But it's they want to be alone. They want to have the,
Right.
But yeah, I could totally see and I was an adult. Okay,
Right.
Max was already in the world.
I was 25.
I was. Max was in the world when they got. Yeah.
I just want to hang out and talk. I thought you were going to see you're like 9 or 10.
No. This was in 2000. This was in 2010.
Am I the hole? Dude, so like that okay, so that reminds me like when I was like probably like 9 or 10. Yeah, probably 9. And I like just kind of like found out about sex. And my parents, like we had like a 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom house. We never closed our doors, right? But they had like their bedroom had like a door that led into the bathroom. So there was like their main door and then their bathroom door, and they never closed both. But this one particular day, it was a Saturday, they closed both. And I was like, huh. And I was in the living room watching TV, and they're in there, and then like I started hearing like noises, you know what I mean? And then like finally I gather what they were doing, right? And I was like, oh, okay, I get that. Oh, they're having like adult time. And I've heard about this, right? And anyway, after they're done, after they're done, like the door opens, and then my dad's like in this great mood, and he's like, hey son, you want to go with Toys R Us? He was like, he just got laid and he was in the best mood. He just went bought me toys.
Paid. He just got laid.
Yeah.
That's a good day.
And he was like, we're headed to toy. I'm buying toys are on me, son. And that's why I was like, man, it taught me a valuable lesson. Like sex is amazing. I don't know what it is,
just completely.
But I know that it gets me toys. Yeah. All right. I'm trying to find the one.
Oh, I thought Serenity was the one.
Oh, still trying to find her. No, she is.
Did you misplace her?
Yeah.
Go check in the bathroom.
She hangs out there a lot. Actually, it's funny. That's where we go to.
So she wears the pants in your relationship
because she's in the bathroom a lot.
Yeah, because husbands are always in the bathroom.
Oh.
I gotta poop. Yeah, I'm sure. You just don't want to be around these kids.
Oh, no, we poop with the door open, dude. Right.
Oh, God. An open door. Okay, that was on a Sex and the City episode.
Okay.
Miranda was dating, Jim Gaffigan played the guy that she was dating.
Yeah.
He always left the bathroom door open when, I think it was when he peed, but he was always sitting down. But he'd always try to talk to her. And then, or no, it was to poop every time. Yeah, he would just do open door dumps. And she would be like in the kitchen making coffee and he'd be yelling something at her. And then she'd hear this. She'd like lean her head around the corner and he'd be like, hey, and smile at her.
Nice.
I'm like, oh, God, that's just horrendous.
When we very first got together, we were still like talking on the phone. And then I would like mute it to when I would take a shit to talk to her. You know what I mean? Like like a decent person. And then she was like, why is it quiet? And I'm like, oh, because I'm pooping and I'm muting it because I'm a decent person. And then she was like, you need to get over that. All right. When we're living together, you're going to be shitting right in front of me. Well, listen,
ew, God, no.
Yeah, no. And that's, I had the same.
Some things will always stay private.
I had the same reaction, but
no.
I moved into with her, and we lived like in like, man, where we lived was like out in the middle of the woods, and it was like the toilet was it was a toilet bowl, but there was no back, and it was just a hole that led into the ground, and you just shit directly into the ground, and it just like you had to buy bags of sawdust so you could throw sawdust on top of it.
Oh, so anyway, that gerbil,
yeah, pretty much, yeah, and then yeah, it was pretty gross.
I mean,
it was crazy.
Well, I also get like like if you're in a small living quarters, I mean, it's one thing, like, yeah, sometimes you're going to hear stuff. It's whatever, right. But to like actively be like, hey, like trying to hear it and trying to talk,
right.
I don't know. That's just no.
Well, no, I mean,
it freaks me out.
Really? I mean, yeah, like, that's why we're happily married. Okay. We got past that hurdle. I don't know. But yeah.
I was married and we were happy at one point, and it was
but you just shit. Just shit in front of each other? Did you just shit in front of each other?
Nope.
No, but that reminds me of a story though. Kind of. It was like today. It was a today I fucked up story. And basically, this chick, at first I wasn't sure if it was a dude or a chick until she said, I'll get to it. But she said that she bought some pancakes from a restaurant, like,
mm-hmm.
I don't know. And then it was in a plastic container. And then she threw them in the back of her truck and then ran errands for like, several hours. And it was a hot day. And then she ate one of the pancakes, like just ate it, and then put the other one in the fridge. And then later on, I guess her brother like fed that pancake to the dog. Anyway, though, she said like she ate the pancake, and then like later on the next day or whatever, she started feeling like really shitty. And then finally, like to the point where she like was writhing in pain, had to go to the urgent care. They found out she had sepsis.
Yeah.
And then they ran some more tests and found out that she had ovarian cancer and like some other shit. But she was like, I would have never found out about those things had I not eaten that shitty pancake and came to the hospital for sepsis. So she's like, yeah, they were able to get all this. They were able to find all the. She had like a couple tumors, ovarian cancer. So they had to like remove her ovaries.
Like they caught it in time, kind of.
But they caught it in time to save her life because she's sick. So in a weird way, that horrible experience of my dumb ass eating that shitty pancake, which I didn't. First of all, I didn't know it would get you that sick, like from eating like a. But then they said the other one that her brother gave to the dog.
The dog is dead.
Yeah, but close enough. Like he was like, yeah, they're like
he's really
fine now,
too.
But made him really sick, and he had like the Hershey squirts and everything like that. Wow. And dogs have like pretty strong stomachs in some senses. They can eat some crazy shit, but then chocolate will fuck them up. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I know.
But anyway, the pancake is what saved her.
My dog growing up used to get into my mom's chocolate. She loved chocolate covered cinnamon bears, and it's hard to find them. And
too late.
They're very hard to find. And
after your dog, apparently.
Oh shit! She got these again.
Yeah, right. Hell yeah, these are hard to find. Fuck yeah. What are you trying to talk about that diet love pass, diet love pass, diet love? Because I know it's like Russian. I know it's like it's Russian.
Yeah,
so
it's in the Soviet Union.
That diet love. It has that diet love pass, diet love.
What the fuck?
That was my Russian attempt. But anyway, go.
You can't do Germanic.
Oh no, I'm not. I can't do accents at all. But
you can do some. You could do some. I keep trying. I can't seem to not sound Russian.
How about you do it then? You say Dyatlov Pass.
Dyatlov. It's the Dyatlov Pass incident is one of the most chilling and the mysterious unsolved cases in modern history. Okay, while we're talking,
right, you win.
There was one night when I worked at PSAV, we spoke in Soviet accents the whole fucking night. Like I could not turn it off. And this one guy, he really is Ukrainian. And he's like, we were just rolling chords. And he was like, PSAV stands for Post-Soviet Audio Visual.
It's not bad, dude.
It was so funny.
Dude, okay, so real quick, let's speaking of fake accent, so I wanted to tell a story for a while, but I had this buddy. It's a long story short. It was like the day before Halloween. We all went out to like get Halloween costumes, but he couldn't. He had duty the next day, so he wasn't going to go out. So he decided to buy a sweater vest, and we were like, "Dude, you look like an English professor." And then he started doing the most amazing fake English accent I've ever heard. It was incredible, and coupled with how he looked, it was incredible. So then, after we go shopping, me and another friend are like, "Hey, we're going to go to this bar that him and I used to always go to." But our friend with the English accent had never gone there. So we're like, dude, we should go there and we'll see how far you can get with this fake English accent. We'll pretend that you're visiting us from like, Cambridge or whatever and see how far we go. Right. So we go into this bar and everyone's buying it, dude. Like everyone's like, he's the life of the party. He's fun. He's a funny guy too. So he's funny. He's saying, he has like all the colloquialisms down. So he's crushing it, dude. Then we go outside to smoke a cigarette. I run into this girl I know named Stacy. And so we start. And I know her name. I know her name because I met her on her birthday, and her mom sang a song on karaoke, and then someone right after that did Stacy's mom. Stacy's mom. Yeah, right.
Oh, so that's funny.
But anyway, so I never forgot her name. But anyway, so I run to Stacy. We start talking. She loves this guy. She's totally buying this guy's accent. Now, this is the best part, though. One of her friends comes out. And then she's like, "Oh my God, come over here. You got to meet this guy. He's awesome. He's so funny, blah, blah." And she comes up and he turns around to see her. And she goes, "Oh my God, that's the guy I was telling you about." Apparently, he had done this before. He had tried this fake accent before and on this one girl. And she happened to show up and totally validate his act. So now everyone totally bought that he was a British guy. Like there's no like just the coincidence of him doing it one other time. And it was this other girl who happened to show up. It was like a perfect storm. And like, yeah.
Well,
But I
that's
never,
funny
yeah,
because I stopped telling this story to like I've noticed British speaking and that includes Australia and New Zealand, like British
the
speaking
British
ish.
Isles, yeah.
Yeah, like that language. Like, what is it about? Like, why don't they ever say the in front of a noun? Like they always say, "Oh, I left my sandwich in kitchen. Oh, I wasn't feeling well, so I went down to hospital."
Yeah,
It's like,
Alfel.
what the fuck?
Yeah,
But
they
there
skip.
was one that was really weird. I heard it, but it was like I put something in cupboard, and I'm
Yeah,
like
I
what?
put cough in the cupboard. But anyway, yeah, fake accents. Well, okay, we're back to Dietlov Pass. That's what we're talking about
I love
originally.
how Russians have a lisp to you.
They do,
Yellow
dude. Also, okay. Side note, do you know Ibiza? Ibiza.
Ibiza,
What?
Ibiza,
Yeah, and
Ibiza,
Barcelona, the Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Do you know why they talk like that?
Why?
Because some what do they have like a not a dictator, but like one of their rulers, one of Spain's rulers back in the
No
day,
way. Had a lisp.
he had a lisp, and he was like he made everyone talk like that, and they never changed it. He made everyone
No
change. Yeah,
way.
swear to God, look it up, dude. He made everyone change because he had a lisp, and he was like, "That's how you say it, okay? It's Barcelona and Ibiza," and he made the whole country change it to that, and they just it's and now people will be condescending like it's pronounced Ibiza. You know what I mean? Like no,
That
you're
is so
isn't
fucking
that funny?
funny. Yes.
I
Oh
had
my
to
God.
share that with you. I forgot about that, and I had to share that with you with
No, I'm
the.
glad you did. That was
But yeah, dude,
fucking
that's so ridiculous
awesome.
because I've always wondered, and I found it. I was like, that's the reason, dude. What the fuck?
I know, that's crazy.
But anyway,
And the
yeah.
funny thing is they don't know their history.
No, cause yeah, or yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I went down some rabbit hole and found that, and I was like, that's awesome. But
That's quite a rabbit hole too.
yeah,
But anyway, I found this story. In fact, I've heard it before.
right,
And then I just happened to, yeah, I was on YouTube watching those fucking shorts, and
yeah,
this guy was talking about this. I'm like, oh, we're going to talk about this on the podcast. So
yeah.
I'm not sure if any of our viewers have heard about this, but it is about what happened on the Dyatlov Pass incident. It is
Potter,
one of
yeah.
the most it is one of the most mysterious unsolved cases in modern history. And it creeps me out. Like when I watched the video last night, it fucking creeped me out to the point where I was like, I don't know if I want to talk about this.
Right. I mean, because there's it's one of those things. There's so much to talk about, but also so little. Because like
Because you
what
don't
is
know. You
yeah,
can
there's so
hypothesize,
right. There's like that. There's a
you
lot of
know.
like I think this would happen, but as far as the facts, there's really not a whole bunch, and it is kind of it is kind of terrifying to hypothesize because something fucked up happened. I mean,
Oh yeah.
go ahead and give some more information.
No, that's it. See you guys. We're boom, boom,
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, that's a
Anyway.
fun one. This is a fun one. That was interesting. Yeah, right.
No, it could be a cliffhanger episode. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Like every
And
Netflix fucking show from that's ever been created since 2020. Have you noticed that every show has every show that's created since like last 5 years, every episode has a cliffhanger to
because they
make
have
you want
to
to
make
watch.
sure,
Right,
yeah, because they have to make sure that it could draw you back in. We should
right, right,
start
right.
doing that. Like we should start doing cliffhangers.
God damn it! What is all right?
Anyway, in 1959, 9 experienced hikers from the Ural Polytechnic Institute in Soviet Union set off to trek through the Ural Mountains. I don't think I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah, I
But
don't
anyway,
know. I tried to pull out the
it's
pronunciation.
Ural.
That's how else would you
Ural.
say it? Earl.
Yeah. Ural.
All right.
You're all
You're
going on
all
a
here for
hike.
the mountains.
You're
You're all
all
about
gonna
to die soon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a
there we go.
violent fucking death.
All right.
Anyway, what investigators found at their campsite has fueled speculation and conspiracy theorists for decades. Oh, wait, sorry. They're from this Polytechnic Institute in the Soviet Union. They set off on a trek through the Ural Mountains, but never made it back. Because when I was watching the video, they were going on these checkpoints, and if they didn't reach a checkpoint, they would send out a search party. And they
Right.
made it to their first checkpoint. Everything was
Mm-hmm.
fine. And then the next day, they never made it to the other checkpoint. So they sent out a search and they found halfway through the trail, the footprints bank off to the right. And then it just starts getting weird. And
Right.
so they find animal tracks and they also find footsteps. They find one footstep here, a couple take a step, some dragged, like it was crazy. what happened is on January 27th in 1959, the group led by Igor Dyatlov set out in the skiing expedition to the Otorten Mountain in the Soviet Union's Ural Mountains. All members were experienced hikers and skiers. The plan was to reach their destination and return in about 2 weeks. On February 1st, they set up camp on the slopes of the Kolat, some Soviet named mountain, meaning dead mountain. Oh, man. Anyway, it was the last time anyone heard from them.
Right.
When the hikers failed to return, the search party was sent out, and they found that what was beyond bizarre. The tent was discovered ripped open from the inside as if the hikers had slashed their way out in panic. The group's shoes and most of their warm clothing were left behind, even though temperatures were around negative 30 degrees Celsius. Footprints, there were some barefoot, there were some that led away from the tent. This doesn't line up with the video the guy said. They were already hiking and they found this scene. But this ChatGPT is telling me that they were this happened at their camp. So anyway, but I'm gonna keep reading because I asked ChatGPT to break it down because I didn't want to watch that video again. I wanted to get like the facts to like lay them out for everybody. But
so I got some stuff to add once you get there. So go ahead.
Okay, cool. So 2 bodies were found near a cedar tree wearing only underwear with signs of frostbite and burns. 3 more bodies, including Dyatlov's, were found nearby, positioned as if they were trying to crawl back to the tent. The last 4 hikers were found months later in a ravine with extreme injuries. One person had a crushed skull. There was broken ribs as if they had sustained an impact of over 200 miles per hour kind of crush.
Right.
Massive internal damage. There was some, but there was no external wounds. One had her tongue completely missing.
Right.
Oh my God, this is so fucking annoying. Because in the video, because they couldn't figure, because there were some that were hanging from the trees and they had scratches in their back that looked like it would come from like bear claws kind of thing.
Right. So they were thinking it was animal attacks, hypothermia.
But it was like all these people that, well, like it's the crush injuries, they couldn't explain it. And so it started getting more bizarre. And so the Soviet government shut the investigation down.
Yeah.
And said, this is like, we're not, like, we're not investigating this any further. It's just whatever. And so the official story that they told people was that it was an avalanche. Russian authorities concluded that a small avalanche could have forced them to flee their tent in panic. This could explain why they ran without shoes or clothes and why they were found in different locations. The injuries could have been caused by the weight of compacted snow. Like, shut the fuck up.
It's called a slab avalanche is what they...
But I mean, that kind of weight, like the crush injuries that this person had, I'm sorry, I would never buy that.
And it also ripped out their eyes.
One person didn't even have
ripped out their eyes and their tongue. It had to rip out an avalanche ripped out her tongue too, just her tongue, but didn't fuck up her face. Like, and there was some of them had like their skin, like it looked like their face had been peeled off.
And the counterpoints is there was no sign of an avalanche at any time around there. And they are experienced hikers and they wouldn't camp somewhere that is prone to an avalanche. So there's a counterpoint for that story.
So last week I brought up, we were talking about, you said Kiefer, blah, blah. I said I saw a movie with his dad, Donald Sutherland, which it was actually about, that movie was actually about a famous serial killer from Russia, right? And this whole movie was about the cop's perspective. And the whole thing was in Russia, first of all, it was super legal to be gay. And then like, so
don't move to Russia.
Yeah, no, I of course I would never. And then I can't do the accents. Why would I do that? But
you're like, hey boy, welcome.
Yeah, they're like, yeah. I would not. I don't know. Maybe, but anyway, like they the whole way they were doing it. Long story short, my point is that it seems like this would definitely be something that Russia, if they did find out anything, they would cover it up. And say, it was an avalanche, and just come up with the best, most plausible thing that they could feed to their people that would get them to shut up.
And they can hide a lot of the facts with stuff too, like and not tell.
This happened in the 50s.
Because people could be like, okay, an avalanche, it's crazy, but I'm pretty sure that people don't know the severity of the injuries because if people but even then, if you try to tell people, like people accept like if 2020 taught me anything,
Right.
people will accept whatever the fuck you tell them.
Right.
If you tell
Right.
them convincingly and string their emotions along,
Right.
they
It's
will
all about
completely
the how you
accept
say it
whatever.
too. Right.
Exactly.
How
So
you
it's like
present it.
people,
If you can present it the right
and the
way.
way and the way their news works over there, like I wouldn't doubt it that they're like, oh, okay. Okay, so other explanations is they were trying to say paradoxical undressing the hypothermia effect. In severe hypothermia, people sometimes feel hot and strip off their clothes, which might explain their state of undress. But it doesn't explain the severe injuries.
Right.
So
They
it's
ripped out
like,
their eyes, scratched their own backs.
yeah, like come
Hey, homie,
on.
scratch my back with a rake that you
And
found. Like,
how
what?
do you explain the person that had that crushing injury? I want to know what did that. I want to know because obviously
But
it's
what was the crushing
aliens.
injury though? What was the crushing injury that was fate?
They
Like they said,
had
like it
a
looked like a car, almost the
Well, they
impact of a
had a
car.
crush. The injury, there was no physical signs on the outside, but they had sustained such
Impact, right?
injuries. Yeah, that it was equivalent to being hit by a car at 200
Yeah,
miles an hour. So a
dude.
severe crushing injury with no physical symptoms on the outside. Or, I mean, not
What
symptoms,
car
but
goes 200 miles an hour? No, but
well,
I was saying so
obviously,
that avalanche theory would kind of work
yeah, the
there, I
avalanche
suppose.
theory kind of, if I roll my eyes any harder, I will go
Right,
blind.
right.
Like that's so stupid. But like I want obviously it's aliens, okay? Like I want to know
Obviously,
what the fuck did that? Like what created like and what yeah, like I need to know why. Okay, so
yeah.
here's another interesting counterpoint, another theory is military testing or secret weapons.
Right. I saw that
Some
one too.
believe the hikers stumbled on a classified Soviet military experiment, perhaps parachute mines or secret weapons. Several accounts claim orange orbits were seen in the sky that night. The injuries, the blunt force trauma, the burns, the radiation found in some of the clothing could be consistent with explosions. There's no concrete proof of testing in that area, though. That's the counterpoint. Of course, you're not going to know about it. It's a military test. They keep
Right.
shit very fucking.
Like,
The county that I'm from in Utah,
sure.
it's a huge county, right? But there's only people
Hedge.
who live in one little location of it. The rest is all military
Oh,
testing
really?
grounds. Hmm.
Huh.
Yeah, it's
No, so
crazy.
like Stranger Things was based on a real thing, and it was
Oh
actually
yeah.
it was
Uh-huh.
supposed to be called originally Stranger Things was supposed to be called the Montauk Project, which is what it was based off
What
of
it is, yeah, exactly.
the
Yeah.
Montauk Project, which was like it was like very close, which is crazy. Like and then yeah, like like you were saying, of course we would. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we don't know or they won't tell us, or and
Oh yeah.
especially in fucking Russia, dude. It's like 10 times worse than what we have going on over here. Like they
Well,
straight up
what
there is
cracks
no
me up
searching. At
is
least we could search.
what cracks me up is people think like, oh, if stuff was happening, we would know about it. They would tell
No,
us.
no, they wouldn't.
Like, I know, it's like, do you tell your children every little fucking thing
Fuck
that's
no,
going on
dude.
in the household?
Like
Like, come on.
Chappelle had that one joke where he's like, yeah, it's like me going up to my son and be like, hey, buddy, I'm 3 months behind on the rent, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm freaking out, man. All right, go have a good day at school,
I
son. You're like,
know,
well, why would I
yeah.
tell my kid that? Like anything,
I
like,
know.
of
Well,
course, I can tell us like all this shit.
I know, because it's like, of course you're being lied to. Of course stuff is kept secret. There's cover-ups. You literally like it cracks me up that people think that like cover-ups and lying and la 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 is only in the entertainment. It's only in TV and
Right. It's
movies.
all
It's
movies.
not ever in real life.
Yeah. Where do you think they get these ideas from?
Yeah, and not to mention, it's like some of the images that you're looking at on your screens are fake, and people are like, no, that's real. It's like, oh, so special effects are only in movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
come on, like use your fucking brain. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know. That opens a
Yeah.
whole other door. Another point too is people think it could be a Yeti or cryptid attack. I don't know what a cryptid is,
A
but
cryptid?
yeah,
Is it how do you spell it?
cryptid, CRYPTID. Anyway, some
Hey, cool. Well, I
conspiracy.
got it right here. Any creature that may or may not exist. Sightings of various cryptids have been reported, but their reality has not been proven.
Oh,
So
so
it's just like I
like
guess like it's kind of like a
Bigfoot.
blanket term. Yeah, it's like a blanket term. I feel for like
Okay.
anything that that like a Loch Ness monster.
Some conspiracy theorists believe the hikers were attacked by an unknown creature. The missing tongue and extreme injuries could suggest can suggest an encounter with something violent. Counterpoints are no evidence of animal attacks or unusual footprints. But they did find bear tracks or bear
Yeah, did they
looking
find some
tracks.
like weird, some like other
They did, yeah.
What I thought it was like unexplained animal tracks. So they say it was bears.
No, the guy in the video said bear.
Oh, okay.
But you know, yeah, you never know. But
Right.
and then the last one is they feel KGB involvement. The theory
Oh
suggests
fuck
that
no, dude.
some suggest that some hikers were KGB agents on a mission, possibly trying to deliver radioactive material or gather intel, and were killed by spies or Soviet forces. The fact that some clothing contained high levels of radiation
Right,
adds
that
to
too.
this theory.
You forgot to add that part. Like, yeah, like the clothes had some of the clothes had high levels of radiation that they couldn't explain on them. Remember that?
But I know, but the way some of the injuries, the way they died, it just I feel like it's just so odd. Because it's like one person's missing their eyes and their tongue, another person has these
Right.
crushing injuries. Somebody is tied to a tree, hanging
Right.
from a tree, and has.
And weren't they coming from like some like technical institute or something like that?
Yeah, they were just trying to hike this pass, and
So
they
what
were
if they what
doing
if that's all
different
bullshit?
checkpoints.
And what if they had like some kind of like some kind of technology with them that they were supposed to transport and like it fucking like went off or something like that? You know what I mean? Some like like I don't know, some kind of like radioactive shit that they were.
Yeah, but it
I
doesn't
mean,
explain the claw marks and being dragged and like
well, they fucking the shit went off. One of them went crazy. They fucking
their
lost their
tent.
minds, started clawing people.
that sounds interesting.
Yeah,
It
these
made
are all
them-
theories, of course.
Like it was
But
like
yeah,
bird box kind of
'cause
shit,
yeah,
that
it's
they
like
did
someone
it to
went
each
crazy.
other.
Right? Yeah, exactly. That's also possible because like it's weird that some of them scattered one way, some of them went the other. So it feels like some of them
Yeah.
were running away from the other
And
ones.
like some of them weren't even found for like days or weeks
Yeah,
after.
and they're like in a different, like a further location.
Yeah.
So yeah, it seemed like maybe they were like trying. Either they had like murdered them and then they freaked out, murdered them, and then dipped out, or but then some of them didn't. Like they said, they just basically died
Okay,
from like
wait. I want
hypothermia
to
kind of
hear.
things.
It's asking, would we like to focus on just this case or dive into theories like Soviet cover-ups, UFOs, or strange deaths in other wilderness locations?
We could do strange death. That's a whole. Okay, AI and strange deaths are next
Yeah,
episode.
next episode. Yeah, next episode we're gonna talk about strange
there's the
deaths.
cliffhanger.
Yeah, our cliffhanger. We're gonna have strange deaths in wilderness locations. Yes.
And we're gonna talk about a little bit about AI. But I have when it comes to like murder or death stories, I have like a plethora. So this is
I know. I was
my
all
wheelhouse.
about that. Yeah, I love that. And then
this is our wheelhouse.
when I was pregnant with Sonia, I finally had to turn it off. Like I literally was so paranoid because I thought someone was gonna kidnap me and cut her out of me, and like And Max and Alan were like, "Oh my God, you're just being paranoid," But then, right before I had her, there was a case of a woman locally that happened to, and I showed Alan, and he was like, "Damn!" And I was like, "See, they do it. People do it."
Right, dude. So yeah, sometimes you gotta trust your intuition. You know what I'm saying?
I know. Well, yeah,
dude,
it was creepy.
So I had this. All right, so I'll end it on this story to kind of remind me of trusting your intuition. So I'll tell you this quick story. I was like 18, 19. It was like 2004. I was living in El Paso, Texas, and two of my favorite bands came to town. There was Perfect Circle and Mars Volta, which is actually they're from El Paso. Anyway, so I was super excited to see them. Hell yeah, they're coming to town. So my buddy and I, we were like, we definitely got to smoke some weed before we go, right? So and they're playing at the Coliseum, right? So we had a bowl that we smoked before we went in. A bowl. But then we were like trying to figure out how we're gonna get some weed inside because I definitely wanted to be high for the whole time, like Mars Volta and a Perfect Circle. So, but we knew it was the Coliseum, and they pat you down for guns for sure, right? So we kind of finally come to the conclusion, like we'll roll some joints. And we'll put them in a cigarette pack, like, not too risky. I finally go, like, I'll put them in my sock down by my shoe, right? We'll be fine. And my friend's like, I don't know, man. He's like, the whole time, he's like, I don't know, dude. Well, finally we go. We get through security. He walks through security. They pat him down. They go, all right, you're good. They pat me down and they go, please, sir, can you step to the side? Right. So a little bit of panic sets in. But I know for sure they didn't feel it. It was nowhere where they could have felt it. So I don't really know why, but I'm a little concerned. My friend starts panicking. He's like, "Oh, what's going on, dude? What the fuck? Why'd you guys pull him over? Like, pulled me over? You know what I mean?" and then I'm like, and then they're like, the bouncer or the security guard. He goes like, "Yeah, you can't bring that in." And then he points to my waist. And listen, it was 2004. I was like 18, 19. I had a chain wallet, right? And he said, "You can't have that." And I was like, "Why? Is it dangerous?" He's like, "No, it's just not cool. You can't have that." So we went back to my friend's car to drop it off. And I'm like, dude, we're fine. They're not even cops or anybody. He's like, dude, I'm telling you, man, I'm from paranoid. I'm freaking out. I think he even said, we'll take it back to our vehicle. Like that's how paranoid he was. And then finally he goes like, dude, just leave the joints here, please, man. He kept saying, I have a bad feeling. I have a bad feeling. So finally I go, fine, whatever, right? So we go back in, we watch the show. Mars Volta puts on an incredible show. Like the one to this day, one of the best shows I've ever seen. Visually, sonically, the way the stadium was, it was a Coliseum, so it had like this really good acoustics. So it was just incredible, right? Yeah. And then anyway, so that and where we're at, we're like kind of in the upper section where it's just like there was the floor section, but we're in the seating, but no one's really sitting in their seats. They're kind of just like and hanging out, enjoying. And then the set ends, Perfect Circle's about to come on, and I start looking at my friend like, dude, this would be a great time to smoke a joint, you fucking loser. You'll be like, and he's like, yeah, whatever. And then as soon as Perfect Circle strikes a chord, you start smelling it, dude. Weed immediately, right? And then I'm like, oh, you fucking asshole. He's like, oh, no, whatever. And then right in front of us, literally right in front of us, there's a couple. They start smoking a joint. I'm like, see, you son of a bitch. And then right in front of them, there's like a group of like 6 people. They start smoking like a couple joints. They start passing out joints. So I'm like, you fucking loser, dude. You could be smoking a joint right now, you lame ass motherfucker. And he's like, yeah, dude, I know. I'm sorry. He's like, apologize. He feels bad. As this is happening, though, cops start showing up, dude, and they just start dragging these people out. And like, I for sure would have lit a joint as soon as I saw that couple light a joint, and I probably would have fucked up I wouldn't have joined the Navy. Like it would have fucked up my whole life.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, but my friend was like, I just have this feeling, and I was like, you fucking lame motherfucker. But yeah, we went with this intuition, and like that could have completely.
Cool that you listened to his intuition.
Yeah, no,
too.
for sure. I could have been like, you dumb motherfucker. No,
you could have been like, yeah, whatever, and then still.
And then just broke out the joint.
Like, that's cool.
No. Whenever I have learned that. Like I did have a mom who was super all about that, and then so I always have trusted when people go like, I'm like, I have a feeling, or like just trust me on this. I go like, all right, dude, fine. Worst case scenario,
yeah, that is true. Because I have
worst case scenario, worst case scenario, we don't get high. Oh man, that sucks. It's like it's still a good show, but worst case scenario, I bring the joint in and we get arrested, and then like it fucks both right, because he ended up becoming a teacher. And that would have fucked his shit up. Yeah. So and I probably wouldn't have joined the Navy because that would have fucked my up. And I would have never met you. We wouldn't be doing this podcast. Like all because I trusted him. All because I trusted him. When he said
I have pinnacle moments in my life like that too. It's crazy how like just a tiny fucking decision can
decision and it could have come.
Yeah, completely set you on it's crazy.
Yeah, completely different path in life. Yeah. If you hadn't made that either one good or bad decision. Sometimes
I was just going to say that one or good bad decision can completely alter your life. I know, it's crazy.
But yeah, I just wanted to share that because I thought maybe think of that.
That's a good segue into the story that I heard.
Cool. Simpatico.
Oh, excuse me. And so it's a good segue. There was it's one of those videos that I was watching on YouTube, but I thought that was kind of interesting. There was this couple back in, and it was in Utah too. Right. They were going on a date, and they were going into Provo Canyon, and they wanted to go to this lookout point and probably make out, whatever. Yeah. So they were walking through.
Hold hands.
Yeah, it's Provo. So yeah, they were holding hands. In fact, that's a little racy. They got to keep
with long skirts.
Yeah, they got to keep a Bible distance between them.
Right.
At least. That's what they said.
I don't know why that's so funny, but I could actually see that being a rule.
That's what they said to us at the dances, at the fucking church dances. You have to dance. You have to keep a Bible distance between.
Really? Yeah. That's so. I could see that, dude. Hell yeah.
It was funny. But this one nerd dude, he was dancing with me. He's like, yeah, well, they got it on CD-ROM now, and he pulled me closer to it.
Really? That's smooth as hell, dude. Actually, that's a good line.
Laugh my ass off.
A great line, dude.
I know, it was so corny, but it was funny.
Sometimes that works. Go ahead.
But anyway, they were starting into the forest or whatever, and I can't remember if it was the girl or the guy or both, but they were saying they kind of had an uneasy feeling. It was really ominous and dark, but they kept going anyway.
Okay.
I'm like, okay. Yeah. Like these are those moments where you follow that feeling.
Right.
But anyway, they were going and it was dark and they were just like, whatever, let's just hurry and get to this spot. And so they were going through the trees and all of a sudden, like the guy stepped on something soft and like without saying anything, she looked at him and he looked at her, and then they just turned around and walked as fast as they could out of there. And fast forward, they get married, they're married, whatever. And they're watching TV, and it's there's an interview with Ted Bundy. It's like right before he's about to be executed. they asked about close calls or something.
Yeah.
And he said, well,
I
actually,
remember this one.
yeah, he was like, well, actually, there was one night he was dumping a body and there was a couple walking. And he said they walked right up on him and he stopped and they stepped on the body and he stopped and looked at them to see what they would do. And he said they didn't look or he said they just looked at each other and walked out. And then he
Right.
mentioned something to the effect of it was better that way because then he would have had to like
Hide
find
three
out
bodies.
find out who they were and yeah. So I'm like, that's fucking creepy. Like that's
Yeah.
so fucking creepy. But they
Yeah.
happened to catch this on the TV, you know. Can you imagine?
Yeah. Yeah. That's wild,
Like,
dude.
oh my God. It's like so that
Imagine.
ominous feeling, maybe you
So
should trust
close.
that sometime, you
Yeah,
know.
for sure, dude. You're so close
Don't go
to.
in there. Like, oh
Yeah,
my
but
God,
why?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So that actually reminds me of a story. Back in 2003, I had a friend who was actually on the show America's Most Wanted. Yeah. He wasn't wanted though. I'll explain.
I love
And
how
that's
you say that. You're like, let's discuss blah blah blah. Here, I'll go first. Like, that shit's so fucking funny to me.
Thank you. I'm glad you like that. I remember watching America's Most Wanted, and he's like, "Oh my god, I know those people." All right, so rewind. So like he worked at a hotel. Him and his like whole family worked at this hotel, and he had met these people, like just random people, and they asked him somehow they found out that he made fake birth certificates. Like my friend made fake birth certificates. I don't know how. So they're like,
But
"Hey, we need."
why?
Huh?
Why? What kind of crime was he involved
No,
in?
no, I'm getting there, man. It's a story. I'm telling you.
Okay.
All right, so
Okay, just wait.
yeah. So anyway, so he worked at this hotel, and like it was one of those things where like his dad worked there, his mom worked there, he had a cousin who was a drug dealer, blah blah blah. Somehow, it was just a side thing that he did. He knew how to make fake birth certificates. He had a program or something like that. I forgot exactly how, but he knew how to make them legit, whatever, right? And so this couple approached him, and they're like, "Yeah, if you could make us some fake birth certificates, we'll pay you like X amount of money, however much it was. It's like a couple, like $500 or something like that per certificate or something like that, right?" And then they're like, "All right, well, we need you to go down with us to Albuquerque,
Albuquerque.
which is like about 5.5, 4.5, 5 hours away from where we were at in El Paso." So they take them down there. They hang out, they party, they get separate hotel rooms, and then they just like party all night. And then they go, "All right, well, we're gonna go to bed in our room. We'll see you in the morning." And then when he wakes up, they're gone. The birth certificates are gone. He's just stranded in freaking Albuquerque. So he has to call his parents and they have to come like drive. Like, it's like a 10-hour thing now. They got to come pick him up.
Did they
drive all
rob
back.
him and stuff too?
No, well,
or-
they just stole the birth certificates. But it turns out that they were wanted. They were on America's Most Wanted for like multiple murders throughout the state or throughout the country. Yeah, they were like murderers, and that's why they needed fake birth certificates because they're like trafficking murderers. He was a shuttle bus driver for the hotel he worked at, and so they would I guess it was like a little like 40-minute interaction where like he picked him up from the airport and they kind of slowly were like, "Hey man, do you smoke weed? Do you know where to get some weed? What else do you do? Do you like cocaine?" And then he kind of like started like building rapport like that. So they finally got like, "Hey, do you know where to get fake birth certificates?"
Okay.
And then he was like, "Actually, I'm the guy who knows where to get them." And then you know what I mean? And then so but I guess what he told America anyway was that he just went with them to they offered to party down in Albuquerque, and then he was just gonna go have a good time with them and party, and then they just left him there and stole his money.
Yeah, that's
crazy. So that's what he said. He said they basically just robbed him, but they did rob him technically, but they just never paid him for the product, I guess.
That's good that they didn't kill him, because
no, I know exactly.
Witness is a dead witness.
That's the whole reason I even told that is because like they were wanted for like murder and traffic, like shit, like I'm surprised they didn't kill him, to be honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's more shocking they didn't kill him than because they were in a hotel from what I understand, was a shitty hotel. So they could have just easily like killed him and then would have been like still on the run. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't have added more, so whatever. But anyway,
that's crazy. He's lucky for sure.
Yeah, super lucky. Yeah. He's lucky he just got, basically he just got a story out of it. And that's pretty much it. But no broken bones, no nothing. So.
Jeez, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, yeah, we'll just say, and then, thanks you so much for listening to, if you've listened at all, if you listened to all 8 episodes.
If you're still listening, thank you.
Yeah, if you're still listening to this point of the episode, appreciate it. And we're looking forward to more episodes.
Oh, yeah, video coming soon. That was interesting.
Yeah, this podcast is not just funny. Sometimes it's informative.
It's informative, yes, very informative.
Yeah. Well, sometimes on Sunday. No, that's not it. Some days on Sunday. Sundays at some time. We'll figure it out.
No, it's Sundays at some point.
All right, Sundays at some point. There you go.
I'm keeping all of that in. Mm-hmm. Sunday, sometime on Sunday.
I was getting the S's. The S's were there.
And then you're like, we'll work it out. I'm like,
Sunday.
Sunday.
Sundays.